Hello, everyone. My name is Lindsay Groves. I am the walk manager for the greater Pittsburgh area. I cover 5 walks. Today, we will be discussing everything to do with fundraising. So arguably, this is probably the most important training that we've done so far in the Team Captain Tuesday series. So this one for sure, send out to your team members. Include anyone you want. If there's a way to learn something, or if there's a specific session to learn something, it's going to be today. So today is an idea sharing session with a special guest speaker, and then we'll go over some ideas from another team, and then at the end we'll go over our fundraising resources tab, and then open it up for questions. But I wanted to do an introduction. We actually have a new staff person on the call today. Julie, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Julie Rotroff. I'm with the Greater PA chapter. I cover 4 walks. I cover the State College Walk, the Du Bois Walk, the Lycoming Walk, and the Cambria Somerset Walk. So I'm just happy to be a part of this organization. I have a connection actually to Alzheimer's. I had a grandfather that passed away from Alzheimer's, and I have a sister currently that is 57 years old that is having some memory issues. So it has affected my family, and I started following the organization about 2 years ago, actually. So just glad to be a part of a great group of people, and just excited about doing the walk events this year and excited for what we can accomplish together. So thank you.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Julie. So moving forward, I'm going to introduce our very special guest, Linda. So she is an advocate committee member and also our fundraising participant for the Alzheimer's Association. She has been raising awareness and volunteering for over 20 years in the Wilkes-Barre area. I tried, and beyond. Most recently, as Mrs. Pennsylvania, Linda hopes to raise crucial awareness of the disease while advocating for early diagnosis, treatment, and caregiver resources. So without further ado, take it away, Linda.
Thank you so much. It's good to be on the call. Thanks for asking me. So I have a personal and a professional connection to the disease. So 37 years ago, I began answering phones in the Alzheimer's office to volunteer because my grandfather was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And I never stopped. I did a lot of things over the years, and I've been a walk chairperson about 3 times, and have continuously done some advocacy. But I really found that through the pageant system, I had a louder microphone and a bigger audience because people paid attention when you showed up with a sparkly hat on your head and a banner. So I decided, since my mom was recently diagnosed as well, I decided to do the Mrs. Pennsylvania International Pageant to try to amplify my advocacy efforts. And I created my own program called Alzheimer's Awareness Across America, or A4. And it has 3 pieces: advocacy, outreach, and fundraising. And I've been doing a lot for each of those platforms, but today I'm here to talk to you specifically about the fundraising piece of that platform. And when you're involved on a walk committee for your area, whether you're on the committee or you're a team captain, it's very important to figure out how you can raise money for your team and how you can get your team members to raise money. And to be honest with you, I've never really had good success doing large fundraisers. I don't have the resources or the time or the committee helpers to be able to put on a golf tournament to raise $10,000, or to have a big band event with wine and raise $6,000. I just can't do that right now. So rather than sit here and say, okay, I'm going to raise $100 and get my t-shirt, and I'm going to hope that all of my team members do the same, is just the start. That's just like the bottom line basics. So I decided to do some smaller fundraisers, but do many of them because you can get different people involved in them, and then it really does all add up. And I'll give you an example. So in my area, we struggle with getting sponsors. for the walk. We don't have any major big sponsors that'll be, helping us put on events and things. So last year, I decided to do something on social media. And I don't know if any of you out there have done fundraising on social media, but it works. I did the birthday fundraiser on Facebook and raised $250 just by clicking the button, share fundraiser. Like, it automatically comes up for your birthday, and you could pick who you want the money to go to. So I picked Alzheimer's Association, and I posted it, and I didn't even repost it. I just posted it a couple of weeks before my birthday, and people would see it, and I garnered $250 without reposting it at all. I don't like asking people for money. So I thought, let me just put it out there, and if somebody sees it, they'll contribute. So all through social media, because remember, you can have Facebook friends who you don't see because they're in another state or even another country, and this is their way of helping. So I was really thrilled with that. So last year I started an online fundraiser myself, and you can go to events and create an event. And I did something unusual. I created a map of the state of the United States. And then I did a fundraiser where I asked everybody to make a donation to my walk team, and I attached the link. And wherever they lived in the state, in the United States, when they made a donation, I turned their state purple. So my fundraiser was called Let's Turn America Purple. And it was fun because every time somebody would make a donation, I would know from Facebook where they lived. If not, I would send them a message. And then I would constantly throw that back on my Facebook page and say, I just got New Jersey. Does anybody know anybody in Nevada? And we would kind of play with that. And by the time that fundraiser had kind of exhausted itself, which was over the span of 3 months, I had turned 3/4 of this country purple, but I had also become a grand champion because of it. So that was just like one little thing. This year, I didn't want to do the same thing because the key to fundraising this way is not to do the same thing all the time. They like things that are different. So this year, I decided I'm going to do the same thing on social media, but instead of turning the states purple, I'm going to have them adopt ducks. I purchased little rubber ducks that look, they're white with a purple ribbon on them. So they look like they were for the Alzheimer's Association, but I know purple is used for a few different causes. And I went online and I said, $5 a duck or 5 for 20, that's your deal. And before long, everybody was adopting these ducks. I bought 20 dozen, which was 240 ducks. And last Saturday, 240 ducks went down the creek and I had my winners. All 4 winners donated their prizes back, which was monetary prizes, 100, 75, 50, and 25. And the last person's duck who came across the finish line got their $5 back. And the owner of that duck happened to be someone on my Alzheimer's advocacy team that went to DC with me. And he was like, keep the $5. So it worked out. And again, this year, I raised $1,000 selling the ducks, and it got me to the grand champion status. So little fundraisers. Next, my pageant, I'm going to Canada in June for the for the Lions International Convention. And then I have my pageant in Tennessee in July. I'm confused. When I get back in August, I'm going to set up my next fundraiser. And I'm going to do one of those paint and sips. I've never done them, but I heard they're real easy. You just put it out there and people sign up, and you can pick a picture. And I thought it would be neat to pick something that was related to Alzheimer's. And if I can't find something, because people might not want to paint that picture, they might want to paint a picture like for upcoming holiday, like even Christmas picture to give as a gift or something. So I have to think about that. But I found 3 places in my area that do it, and I thought that would be fun. And it's small. I think they only have 12 people or less, but then I figured I'll see how it goes, and then I can do it again. And even if I do that, it's just small increments. A friend of mine sells Tupperware, and it's still around, guys. It's still around. I purchase a lot from her, so I love my Tupperware. If you know anyone that sells, that has a side hustle of anything, paparazzi, tastefully simple, and you purchase from them, go back and ask them if they have any fundraising opportunities, because for some of them, it's just a matter of doing a Facebook party and you'll get a donation back from the proceeds of, I mean, yes, you'll, as a, what they call a host, you'll get some free stuff, but some of them do it where you can actually get money donated back for a fundraiser. The other easy fundraiser that I'm going to be doing in the fall is I'm going to my local Texas Roadhouse. I mean, you could do it. There's a lot of restaurants that do this. And everybody who eats that night that has the coupon that you're going to like put out on social media and give to people is like 10% of the sales from that night will go towards your for the Alzheimer's Association. So all of those things are just small. And that is my point today, is that you don't have to hold these major structured things, because if you gave me all the resources, I would be having a big fashion show in a ballroom of a hotel with a basket raffle. I would be doing all of that and raising probably thousands and thousands of money, like just that night. But our area isn't quite into that. And I'm a person of one. I don't have a committee. I have team members, but they're family members, and it's just hard. So I just decided, let me just try to do that and be the turtle in the race, you know, one step at a time. And I'm going to get there faster than the rabbit who's sprinting, because sometimes I hear about people that have these monstrous golf tournaments for their, you know, for their walk or their team, and they're raising $8,000 in one afternoon. And I'm like, oh man, that's going to take me years to raise that. But every dollar counts. So if you just set a goal and try to do some mini fundraisers together with your team members, and then also encourage your team members to do mini fundraisers. And then that's just going to move it forward, because as a committee member for my walk in Wilkes-Barre, we constantly look at the teams that are coming in and which teams are bringing the most dollars in, because those teams that are doing that are pretty active, not just a month before the walk, but 6 months before the walk. So we have some time now to plan some things. So I really just wanted to stress that message is, you don't have to think big, just do some small little ones. And before you know it, you're going to keep adding things up, but do not ignore social media. That has worked tremendously. And I know I don't have too much time to talk to you today, but I just wanted to point out something else that I'm doing, because remember, you have to be unique and you have to use your talents. The picture behind me, even though my chair keeps getting in the way, is the cover of my new children's book that is coming out June 20th. And it's called A Walk for Gigi Lou. And it's about me and my daughter, Becky. And Becky wants to help me with my walk. So she sells lemonade, raises $100. And at the end, she says, I'm so glad I was able to help you with your walk. And then I say, it's our walk now. So it's just a way to show that it actually teaches kids about Alzheimer's and what you can do, even as a kid, selling lemonade on the corner a couple weekends, to make a big impact. So we can't forget about that, because there was a story on an Alzheimer's a walk last year, and it was about this boy who did the lemonade stands and raised thousands of dollars. And people are like, you're kidding. But it doesn't matter what you do, you can just do something small. So that's what I want to end with, is just think about what you can do. And it doesn't have to be really big, but share it on social media, because people will help you if you tell your story. So when I say my grandfather had Alzheimer's, my mom has Alzheimer's, I'm next in line, I have to find a cure, I have a passion to do this, please help me. And they understand it, because maybe they don't know somebody, but they will. And they understand that they can, even $5 buying a duck for $5 made a difference. So, you know, that's really my message today is don't think big, think small, and do not disregard social media, because it works. It really does. And I wish everybody all the best of luck, because, you know, we're really making a difference. One team, one walker, $1 at a time. And if we can find that cure, we're going to keep doing it. And who knows, I may even see some of you because I'm going to try to get to as many walks as possible. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Linda. That was a wonderful message and a great segue because I'm actually going to talk about Brody and his lemonade stand. So I'm glad you brought that up. But yeah, everything that Linda said, I mean, she's right. You know, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time, right? I know that's a horrible phrase, but you know, it works. It's a great visual. So, but yeah, thank you so much, Linda. And if you have time, please stick around because I'm sure we might have some questions at the end, but thank you for presenting. I'm actually going to share my screen because unfortunately Brody was not able to join us today. So I'm going to share on his behalf about his lemonade stand fundraiser that just happened over the weekend. So let me share my screen. All right, can you all see that so far? Okay, I'm trying to get it to get bigger. All right, bear with me for 1 second. Okay, can you guys see Brody and his cute little face? So, all right. So Brody, he is from the Butler County Walk. His team's name's Joe's All Stars, ALZ Stars. And then you can see him when he was littler. He's 10 years old right now. But when he got his beginnings as with his lemonade stand, he was super little and very humble beginnings. And we'll go into what his setup looks like this year. But Brody is an incredible kid. He has been doing his lemonade stand fundraiser for the last 5 years. And as of this weekend, he has crossed $20,000 raised just with his lemonade stand in the last 5 years. So he actually is on the committee with our fellow Butler County Walk committee members and participants. So he's definitely getting noticed. But his family actually travels over an hour to get to their closest walk. And they are so dedicated. Last year, he was the #1 fundraiser for quite some time. Just last year, they raised $7,000. They're still working this year, but I will show you what exactly it looked like. So he has a lemonade stand fundraiser, as I said, which started as a very small event that ended up growing because how do you say no to that face? So he and his mom create this. His mom's name's Lisa, so I'll reference her as well. But this flyer in itself, you can see, is amazing. So it's all about branding with them and sharing the story. So I wanted to share just right here on this flyer. It says exactly why he does what he does. So his team, Joe's All Stars, was named after his great grandfather, Joseph Kish, and he lived with Alzheimer's. And Brody remembers what he was like before and what the process was like along the way. So he has told me he doesn't want anyone else to have to go through what their family went through, and he will find a cure in his lifetime, he keeps saying. So but he has an event for about 4 hours every year. They have a business that in their area, so they're from the Leechburg, Pennsylvania area, that actually lets them set up everything in their parking lot, and they sponsor. And he has actually, I think he had over 12 sponsors this year, 3 food trucks, raffles, you name it, it was there. And he is constantly in development mode. So he's kind of like the Walt Disney of Alzheimer's for kids, because nothing is ever finished and he always wants to improve upon the event. So we'll show you some pictures. So this is his setup this year. He had 6 flavors of lemonade, which was all donated by Marburger Dairy. So he thought ahead and had the actual product donated, and then he flavored some of them. He is the boss, so he gets to be the taste tester and make sure that it's a quality product that he's bringing to his fundraiser. But you can see his menu that's listed on the left, and obviously he always thinks about how he can do an upsell. So you can add a bomb popsicle if you want to, or they had silly straws this year. Then on the right side of the screen, you can see his color changing cups with his branded logo, which is pretty impressive for a 10-year-old to have branded materials anyway. But everything, as he said, and you can see his little cartoon on his table runner, that it's all made with love. And it's just amazing what he was able to accomplish in such a short amount of time at his age. So he also sells t-shirts that he designs every year with his drawings on them, so that we can share on his behalf. And then here's some pictures from the event this year. He had his lemonade stand set up, the raffle baskets, the food trucks were there. There was an Asian inspired, there was a hot dog truck, and then there was a cupcake truck as well that took pre-orders. They all donated a percentage of their proceeds, if not all, back to his event. And he literally has thought of everything. So I'm excited to see what he has in store for next year, because I already know his wheels are spinning. So, but I just wanted to share this with you because he is 10 years old and is making it happen. So if he can do it, and he said to share this with you, if he can do it, you can. And he sums up everything perfectly. He has told me time and time, and he says this all the time to everyone else as well, that he's just a boy with a lemonade stand and a dream of a world without Alzheimer's. So just think of that impact from him. And he also said to include, find something that you love. And I know Linda touched on this as well. Find something that you love to do, or that you're good at, or is a really fun hobby that you want to share with the world, and go for it. Figure out a way to make that a fundraiser, because have fun with it. You know, you need to put fun back in fundraising, and sometimes it's a little intimidating, but when you see things like this from Brody, it's pretty impressive. So I wanted to just start that off with fundraising tips and tricks. I'm going to now, let me get out of this presentation, and we're going to explore the walk homepage. So let's pick Brody's walk. How about that? So Walk to End Alzheimer's, Butler, PA. And we'll start here at the beginning, so you can see exactly where to find everything as we move through. So right now we're at the, obviously I said Brody's walk, so we'll scroll down. So this is the main page when you type in our short URL. So every walk has their unique URL. So wherever you end up, this should all look relatively the same. So if we scroll down, you'll see the announcements. And just as a reminder, this is our banner month. So if you have 5 or more people registered on your team and have raised $500 or more by the end of this month, you will get a team banner with your team name on it. So please encourage, if you haven't, I know a lot of people have already earned them, but if you haven't and you're just one person shy, make sure you find a family member, find a friend, and take advantage of that. So the rules are there as well. But we want to scroll down here to these buttons. So our fundraising tips button right here is going to be a great resource for you if you just need somewhere to start. So most everything here is hyperlinked, or it's just an idea as well, but I can go over some extras that aren't included. A lot of these can be found in your team captain packet, that if you haven't received one in the mail yet, or if you want a digital copy or anything, reach out to your local staff person. They are more than happy to mail one of those out, or send you the virtual edition if that's a little easier for you. But we will touch on, I'm going to go through every single one of these just so you can see what is out there. So the first one is the Facebook fundraiser. And I know Linda had mentioned using Facebook as a platform to kind of move whether you're having an event like Brody did, or whether you just are doing a Facebook fundraiser, definitely this is a how-to video on how to set that up. We have covered this in a session, I believe a month or so ago, just on Facebook and social media fundraising. So feel free to refer back to that as well. It is a step-by-step specifically about social media fundraising. So I'm going to skip over that one. So a virtual fundraising guide. So these are ideas if you are still social distancing, I'm clicking on that now. Now, every one of these hyperlinks that you select will open a new tab for you. So don't, worry about losing the original spot. It'll open that brand new tab. So this is a virtual fundraising guide that just walks you through like the Champions Club incentive plan, Facebook fundraiser how-to, how to raise $500 or more in 10 days, the mobile app, you name it. It talks about everything in this specific thing, like the A through Z's of fundraising, where there's an example of for every letter of the alphabet of something you can do. So that is the virtual fundraising or fundraising at a distance. And then local give back opportunities. So local businesses will donate. You can do dine to donates, direct sales, like we mentioned earlier with the side hustles. If you need in contact with someone, or say you really like a brand like 31 or Tastefully Simple, Norwex, anything along those lines, we probably know somebody that will facilitate that for you. So reach out to your local staff person, and even if you don't know someone that has a side hustle, we can probably find one for you if there's a specific product that you're looking for or a product line. Dine to donates are also great. There are a few chain restaurants across the state that do this all the time, like Texas Roadhouse, Applebee's. You can register for those. Permane Brothers is a great one. You name a chain restaurant, they're probably going to help in some way. Not as much the fast food, just keep that in mind. It's usually those sit down restaurants that are all across the state of Pennsylvania and further out if you're not from the area. But just keep that in mind. If you have any questions on those, obviously I'm going to say this over and over again, reach out to your staff person. We have done it. We can help you set that up and get you the information that you need. Fundraising A to Z. So let's click on that. I know I touched on it a moment ago. Like I said, there is an example for each letter of the alphabet, usually 2. So you can do change challenges. Let's just pick a few of these out. A birthday party, you can monetize that. Tailgates, I think, are a great way. We're moving into we're already in tailgate season, so why not take advantage of that if you want to do a fundraiser with that. Game nights, garage sales are great if you want to get, try and get rid of some clutter in your house, make that a fundraiser, or come together with a block and do like a block fundraiser opportunity with something like that. Jeans days at work, now that we're back to work predominantly, so that hopefully those will be coming back soon. Just go through and if you need an idea, these are great ideas, and obviously this might spark something else that you think of and that you're more passionate about. So just keep that in mind as we move into Christmas. We could do ugly sweater contests, things, and really the opportunities are endless. So I'm going to move on to the next one, which is fundraising bingo. I love this. This is one of my favorite tools for if you don't know where to start, this is a great way to start. So if you click on fundraising bingo, you can actually download a PDF of this bingo card. None of the squares are worth more than $20. So it's usually pretty accessible to everyone. The idea is to sell the card. The card is worth $100 if you sell each square. You can do this on social media as well. And as you sell them, you can tag the person in the square so you know if it's sold. But this one's really nice because it's very mission focused. So $16 in honor of the 16 million caregivers across the country, or you started your fundraiser with a $20 self-donation, or $10 to fight the most expensive disease in America. It's a great way to connect the mission with your friends, family, or donors in general. I'm going to stop here for a second because I want to talk about the power of a self-donation. So the first thing that anyone who registers should make a self-donation. Doesn't matter what the amount is. Just if you're asking, I think it's great to lead by example. So if you're asking others to make a donation, make sure that they can see that you already invested in the cause. So I know that sounds, sometimes it seems like a no-brainer, but sometimes we forget about those little details. But definitely make a self-donation of any size and see if people will match it. That's also a great way to say, hey, can I get 10 people to match my $20 self-donation in the next 20 hours? You know, anything along those lines, it truly will add up. But this card, if you have team members that you want to motivate to get fundraising on their own, that will earn them their t-shirt just by completing this card. And this can be done fairly quickly. So great way to get started, an easy way. You can use it in person, you can use it online. So definitely start here. That's one of my absolute favorites. And we have another card that I made right here, how to become a champion. So that's the $500 or more in 1 week. So it's a little different. It's not as mission focused. It is, you're selling squares based on people you know, or some, if I asked you, like, who do you know? You probably would draw a blank right off the bat. It's like, I don't know anybody. So these are ways to see who you've missed, or just how to get those donations to add up. This entire card, once you cross it off, every single square, it's worth $500. So you will become a champion. If you do both of those bingo cards, then you're at $600. So it's a great way to motivate your team. And plus, once you get to that champion status, you get a lot of cool swag from the organization as well. So keep that in mind. But just to highlight a few, you know, ask a friend to donate $25, ask a coworker for 10, a neighbor for 5. There are some duplicate squares on here. Set a Facebook fundraiser for $75 goal. Ask an employer to contribute $50 towards your fundraising. You know, there's a lot of different options, and obviously you don't have to be married to these specific terms or anything, but it's a great starting point for everyone. So I wanted to share those 2 cards. This one will be available on your website soon, so we'll put that right near the other bingo card on the website. But let's go back to the rest. Social media tag, I'm not going to cover this as much, but it's basically the same thing as the sponsoring squares, but you can actually tag people like a great athlete, someone who's a great cook, and those just challenge them to donate $25 or more. You always want to have that or more because you don't want to limit anybody, but tag people, call them out on social media, and they probably will give. So another thing that you can actually download as a PDF as well. And then team goal tracking poster. This is also in your team captain's packet if you received one in the mail, but if you just want this to display, especially when you have a business that's fundraising, I think it's nice to see. You can do team members recruited, everyone who's reached $100 in fundraising, Champions Club members, and then your general fundraising goal. It's kind of nice to have a visual, so that's there for you as well. And then 10 tips for recruiting coworkers, if that's your thing, or if you're a team that's made up of coworkers or anything. So there's some ideas there. Company matching, that's also a great tool to remember. A lot of organizations do matching gifts. So you can actually go to this website and search to see if your company is listed. If it's a national organization or even a regional organization, it might be listed there. But sometimes companies will just do local company matching as well. So definitely bring that up if you think that that's an opportunity. If you need some help with that, with wording, or if you have any questions on how to approach a supervisor about that, you can always reach out to your local staff person as well for some tips. Year-round fundraising ideas. So this is a calendar with ideas. So it is a great tool to have. Has the barometer as well on the right side. So set goals. I mean, I know this is, it's a full calendar year, but this might be something that you start now and then definitely implement starting in January for next year, because you can, if you wanted to do like one thing a month, even if it's like January, I'm going to have a hot chocolate, night at my house, or a movie night. In February, we'll do something around Valentine's Day, something like that, just to get those creative juices flowing and have an organized approach to your fundraising, but definitely could be implemented at any time. It's just nice to see the whole calendar year in advance if you're a planner like I am. So All right, and then we have a letter writing campaign. So I'm not going to click on this. You can check this out at your leisure. If you need a letter or just a template to spark what you want to say to anyone, we can help with that. But we can get you some the logo, at least for letterhead and whatnot. The impact that someone receiving something in the mail from you, a personal note, you know, anything along those lines, if it's coming from a specific person, it means a lot because you spent the time to write it, you spent the time to send it. Postage keeps going up, like it means something to someone. So if you want anything or any assistance with the writing process, you can click here, reach out to your staff person as well. We'd be more than happy to help. We probably already have templates ready to go for you that you can make your own. And then, so those are the main areas of the fundraising ideas. I know we covered a lot today. Just wanted to let you guys know as well, if you click this link right here, if you're having a local fundraiser and you want us to promote it for you on the WALK website or on social media, if you click this form, it'll take the link to this form, excuse me, it'll take you to a Google form that you can fill out. Every event in the state is listed that we cover. So Philadelphia is not, but we can always connect you if you're in that area as well. But just fill out your information about your fundraiser and the dates, times, you know, anything. If you have a flyer, you can also submit it here with a PDF or a PNG file. Any details, the better. We can take this information and then put it on under the fundraising tabs on local team fundraisers, and I will show you where that is. If you have any people that are Spanish speaking, there's also some forms here as well, just so you know where they're housed. So let's go back to the main page and we'll scroll down just a little further to local team fundraising, and that actually takes you, if it'll load. You can do it, computer. All right, there we go. So it'll take you here. I know I need to update a couple of these. So that is the exact same form, but this is where it will be located. So like Birdie's Lemonade Stand fundraiser just happened, so I'm going to update the website, but you can see I actually hyperlink it, and your staff person can hyperlink it to your Facebook event, or if you create a website of some sort or anything along those lines, we can put that information here, your flyer, just so you can see what we're capable of with our websites. We're really making the effort to try and have that more custom approach to everything and share as much as we can with the rest of the team captains. We can also put it in a newsletter. So just make sure we have it a couple weeks in advance, because our newsletters only go out twice a month. But all right, so that is pretty much it with the fundraising tips. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and open it up for any questions.
Lindsay, I just have a comment. I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but you know, I do the other fundraiser too for the Cranberry Cup. And the one thing that we do that costs us no money, because everybody shops on Amazon. I don't know if you can see these. We made these Amazon cards. If you get people to go on Amazon Smile and pick your charity, every purchase that's made, they give you back 0.05% of the purchases. And so it's like free money coming in. So this year we did these cards, and on the back of the card, we have a personal donation QR code to that organization. I haven't done it for Alzheimer's yet, but I just thought this was an easy way to tell people. I mean, I don't think there's any restrictions for the Alzheimer's organizations to do this, right? They're able to do this card, put your team name on if you want, et cetera.
There shouldn't be any restrictions. I'll have to look into that. I'm not sure if that would go to the general organization or if we can get it specifically for teams. So I can look into that. And if you're interested in that, we can definitely go over.
Yeah, I mean, it costs nothing and everybody shops on Amazon. You'd be surprised how it adds up, you know.
Most definitely. Yeah, we just need to go over the nuances as if we can get specific credit, because I want to make sure that you guys get your credit for your teams. So,
Right.
But great idea. Great idea. And Julie, did you want to add anything as well? Because I know that you've had a lot of fundraising experience, or any ideas that come up across?
No, I mean, everything that you covered was, pretty, comprehensive. I think most people have done small fundraisers in their communities just to, whether it's getting t-shirts for your team members or, just to have some donations coming in. I do think the paint to sip is kind of interesting, or is it, Linda, is it paint to sip? I would love to try that myself. I haven't done that yet, but we have a local winery here. I'm close to the Altoona area, so I wouldn't mind trying that. But I think there's so many avenues that you can explore to try to do fundraising that is just on a smaller scale, that you don't have to really do these huge asks. And Facebook has certainly been one of those. And I know for birthday fundraisers, I've donated to so many of those, because it pops up on your, and whether people choose to do that, obviously is their choice. However, it does come right up on your Facebook the morning that you log in, and it shows everybody's birthdays for that particular day. So I mean, I've done the Facebook fundraisers myself for various organizations in the past, and they've always been very successful. But I think just putting it out there on social media certainly does help, because people, I mean, whether they're just scrolling, it kind of just prompts them to, to maybe just think about, well, maybe I want to participate in, the walk, or maybe I have a person that I lost due to Alzheimer's. So I don't think we realize how many people it really does affect until you're having those conversations and putting it out there.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. And another great tip for anything with your fundraising: make sure that you customize your participant center story. The generic is great. The Alzheimer's Association really thinks through what they post on there for the generic content, but if you customize those stories, and I know Robin would tell you the same thing, because she led that training a couple months ago. If you customize everything, it 40% more revenue across the board. And thank you, Linda, for joining us today. And we will see you soon. But we'll stay on for any more questions. But yeah, customization is key. Whether that's Facebook, whether that's the participant center. Definitely take advantage of it, because we want, if everyone did that participated, imagine how much more we can bring into our individual walks, just by, knowing that statistic of 40% more donations come in if you do that little teeny tiny thing. So other things, like just a reminder, if you have a hobby, make it happen. In Beaver County, we have a person that owns an Etsy shop for mittens, and she raised $15,000 in the past 2 years just by taking orders for mittens. So we have events across the state, like in Altoona. Let's bring Altoona into this a little bit. We have a team that is having their first ever big fundraiser, which sometimes that scares people, but they wanted to run with it this year. The person that they're honoring passed from Alzheimer's, but she loved to dance. And so they're doing a dance night. So they're teaching people how to square dance and showcasing a local dance company and having, food trucks and everything. That's the bigger end of the spectrum with how you want to fundraise. But, we all start somewhere. And, you see 5-year-old Brody starting a little teeny tiny lemonade stand that turned into $20,000 later. So it's pretty incredible. Don't discount anything that you do, because it truly it truly can turn into anything. And I mean, we have bowling nights that come up, or paintball tournaments, or just something fun that you can invite people to share in that passion. And there are chains like Painting with a Twist. I don't know if they extend out to the other side of, I don't know what their reach is with locations, but here in Western Pennsylvania, there are tons of them. So they'll do percents back, or bowling alley as well, or just think about those activities you like to do and do it, because that's truly, if you're enjoying yourself, it'll come across a lot differently than, oh, I have to do this spaghetti fundraiser. I don't really want to, but you know, you're not going to raise as much with not doing something you love as you would like, oh my gosh, I love to bowl. Like that's going to be so much more impassioned, and you can really get behind it. Or a hobby that your loved one that has or has had Alzheimer's love to do, like do it for them, like a book club or, you know, anything along those lines. It truly, the opportunity is limitless, and, you know, just run with it and schedule a coaching session. Last, the most important thing that I'll discuss is use your staff person. If you just want to schedule, you know, a half-hour coffee meeting or an hour-long Zoom call that you just share your ideas, and then we can help you funnel those ideas and make those ideas come to fruition. So before we go, if there aren't any other questions, I just wanted to remind everyone that on June 28th, we will have another one of these fundraising sessions that is just for business fundraising. So if you have a company, team, or anything along those lines, we're going to have some people share what they're doing at personal care homes, what they're doing with their businesses, with company matching or golf outings. So it'll be more of that larger scale fundraising with company teams on the 28th of June. So, but do we have any other questions? And if not, we can wrap up.
Lindsay, I just want to mention something too. One thing I happen to think about, people do a lot of the cornhole competitions too for fundraising. If you have, you know, for example, a big 4th of July party or something like that, where you have 20 people. Yeah, they do
happening right now. So
yeah, they do a lot of I mean, and that's so, I think that's so popular right now because people have the tendency, everyone seems to have these cornhole games at their family reunions, or if it's at their family picnic, and they may pay $1 to participate, or you know, maybe $5, something of that nature, but they have that competition, and that also is just an easy way to raise funds, and not only just raising funds, but raising awareness for a cause that you're passionate about, that, you know, whether it gets you your team's t-shirts or whatnot, it's certainly every little bit helps. And that's kind of a way to, you know, incorporate something fun, but you're also giving back, you know, to help a charity. So,
and don't overlook your furry friends as well, because
yes.
if you, I know that most of my posts of my dog have more reach, you know, have a wider reach on social media and whatnot. So if you can figure out a fundraiser with dogs or cats, people will come. So just keep that in mind. But really, number one takeaways from today: do what you love, make it fun, ask for help, and we're here for you.
Yeah.
So we will do anything we can to make your fundraising successful and less stressful. So we are so appreciative of our guests today, and thank you so much for joining us. We will see you again in a couple weeks, and reach out to your staff person. We are just anxiously awaiting to coach you. So please keep us in mind, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.